Alright, fellow Hollow Table heroes, this is Skinless, the guild leader for the Alliance Guardians, and today we're going to be looking at the journey guide for the Chimaera. So I've recently done my video on Thrawn, so you're most likely at this point going after Chimaera as well. So you may notice right off the bat that you only have one capital ship that you can work with. Specifically, it's going to be the home one with Admiral Akbar. This event needs to have the same star level that you plan to unlock as you have with your Admiral Akbar. So if you're going for a 5-star, you need a 5-star home 1. If you're going for 7-star, you need the 7-star home 1. So it may take you a minute to get to that point, depending upon how many refreshes you do with the 7-star home 1 event. You do need to have Ghost and Phantom required for the event. And then as far as for other rebel ships, you can really use anything else that is in your arsenal. There are only 7 rebel ships. You're going to end up using them all. You may not have them all off the bat, though, and you definitely don't need them. Most of us who did this event the very first time only had about, I want to say it was 5 of those ships. So we're going to show you how to go through this and look at kill orders. My ships are definitely going to be stronger than they are needed to be for this event, so I'm going to try to use some of the other ships first. So I'm going to leave Han's Falcon completely out of this. We're going to look at kill order specifically. That's the thing to take away from this event. It's not a hard event. It's not by any means a challenging thing to do. It's all about the kill order and understanding the tactics of your enemy and understanding your own kits. We're going to go ahead and go into the 5-star here. I always put Biggs in the first spot because he gets the taunt, so I put him out with my Ghost and my Phantom. And then in regards to your backups, you're just going to kind of have everything else that you have. So we're going to look at who to kill first, which is always going to be your TIE Reaper. So when you see the Death Trooper out there on the field, you always want him to go first. And the reason for this being is that he has a mechanic on his kit where he gives the capital ships from the Empire an additional, says 20% turn meter for any time there's a fatality on the field. You also get bonus turn meter stuff from TIE Fighter Pilot. So I always focus on these two guys first. The TIE Advanced is not necessarily a easy ship to deal with all the time, but it's not as bad as some may think. It does apply a lot of debuffs, but it's not going to be as detrimental as getting the ultimate off on Chimaera. So you really want to get rid of all your turn meter based enemies first. So we'll go ahead and get some AoE out here. You can get the assists, which is great. So I'm kind of running right through this pretty quickly. I do like to try to debuff some of my enemies that I'm going through to keep them from doing a whole lot as I'm trying to get my work done, because by getting that target lock out there, I can do something like this where I can attack at all angles, and that does the additional benefits for having the target locked, which is the ability block for the 1 turn. And then you're dealing 20% bonus damage for each rebel ally. Well, you can only use rebels in this event, so you're doing an additional 40% damage. You may notice, though, it didn't do a lot of damage. So it's just something to get the extra ability block out. And then we'll go ahead and we'll take out the... Let's see. So at this point, you may need a reinforcement. We don't necessarily, but we can take a look at our reinforcement abilities here. And this is really important to understand your reinforcement abilities. This is kind of a really good introduction to understanding your kits for your rebel ships. So you can see here we can get buff immunity and healing immunity on the target for 3 turns, which can't be resisted. I do have all of my my reinforcement abilities maxed, so this is going to be your end of the line abilities per se, but you always have a version of this available to you, so you can kind of find what's going to work best for you this time. We don't have a lot of a lot of buffs on the field, so if we had a ton of buffs from the enemy, we may use Cassian to get rid of all those buffs, but we're gonna go ahead and use Wedge instead. He's kind of our extra damage dealer, and he's gonna take out that TIE Fighter Pilot, and that was pretty easy there. We can use an ultimate there, and that was the basic kill order. So I want to slow it down with this one here so we can kind of get the idea of what you're looking for, no matter what level your ships are, because you're going to face the same 3 enemies in every tier of this event. So when we go into 6-star, you have the same exact enemies. We're going to do the exact same kill order. It just gets a little bit more difficult when you have additional points to work with. So they are stronger enemies. They have additional health, they have additional defense, they have additional offense. So you're going to hit a lot more often, and you're going to have to hit them more than you normally would. Understand one quick thing here. If we look at the Seize the Advantage, this is a great ability for when you get debuffs applied to you. Just understand that it cannot remove a target lock. So I would sometimes use this here. You can get the additional health and protection maybe up on Ghost there, or Phantom. So we could use this right now, but I do want to get my additional unit out in the field. I'd rather get the additional unit out there than miss my chance at a reinforcement and try to necessarily save someone. I actually feel safer having an additional unit on the field than I would just going in and trying to heal up. So the next turn, I probably would have put the heal on my team and get them, safe at that point. So 6-star ran through just fine. 7-star is going to be the exact same thing. So just like any of these early on events, when you're first getting your capital ships set up, you're getting your first legendaries, rather than being more RNG based, these are going to be very turn order based or kill order based. So you can see I'm using the exact same buttons every time, the same tunes, the same moves, the same, you name it. I'm doing the exact same thing every time. And if you're using this exact formula, you will find that you're able to go through and beat this event quite easily, no matter what level your ships are. You may have to get a couple extra units out there on the field. The one thing to know, though, is if you get additional reinforcements out from Chimaera, you're going to need to take out those TIE fighter pilots. Always save TIE Advance for last. I found that he, again, is going to be the easier tune to manipulate and work around, whereas the TIE fighter pilots get the additional turn meter. So we always want to just get rid of those TIE fighter pilots as fast as we can, and then we'll deal with TIE Advanced as need be. So that's just a way that I look at it. So we're gonna go ahead and get some protection up just to show you that. But again, really not a difficult event. Pretty easy, I would say. Just you need to follow that kill order specifically. So I do hope that you enjoyed this event. I apologize for my little alarms going off there. If you liked it, please subscribe. Feel free to DM me on Discord. I've got my information on there. I do take requests. Just let me know, and I appreciate all you guys viewing this. Like the video if you like it, and give me some feedback.